Hey guys, Greg Bad from Medford here. Had a little video technical difficulty. I was going to shoot a live video real quick with you guys. Um, just as a let me start over. Hold on. Here we go. So, I just got an email from a guy who wanted some parts. He bought a knife that was missing some hardware. He bought it from a pawn shop in Peoria, Arizona. So, let me talk a little bit about this, okay? You should not buy our knives off of eBay. We have a couple authorized dealers. You can look on our webpage under authorized dealers, and you can see authorized dealers. Now, my authorized dealers who sell online, I'm not happy about it. We've got one guy who's an eBay reseller, and I think his time with us is probably winding down over time. He's been a good partner of ours, and he's sold a lot of knives for us. And the only authorized eBay dealer that we've ever had was Action Concepts. So, you buy from him, you buy with confidence. I am telling you right now, he's been on the online sales for quite some time. We have a couple other dealers who sell some stuff on eBay, and you're going to see that sunset over time. That's going to be going away. It's not what I want. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you see stuff from pawn shops here in Phoenix, especially in Peoria, Arizona, it's stolen. It was stolen by one of my former employees. They were reject knives that were slated for destruction. He thought they were good enough. He stole a bunch of them, hawked them at a pawn shop in Peoria, Arizona, who's listing them on eBay. So buyer beware. If you buy from that pawn shop, there's no packaging. If I have, we have video of the guy walking in the store. We know it was him. The police won't do anything about it. The store won't take them down. They don't care because they paid money for them. And I'm telling you, as you sell them, just so you know, you're on an island. You're buying stolen knives that are not fixable. They were rejected for a reason. He actually took them out of our destruction bin. So, I'm telling you. And William, I know who you are. Anyway, they were stolen about maybe 6 months ago, and then they worked their way into the pawn shop world, and now they're on eBay. This is the second or third one I've had pop up. So I'm telling you right now, don't buy knives through eBay. I don't suggest you buy any knives through eBay at all, period. James Marsh at Action Concepts is, like I said, he kind of knows the rules. He sometimes skirts the rules a little bit. For the most part, he plays by the rules with us. And he's been a good partner of ours for a long time. And, in the long run, eBay's not a place I want my stuff. But I can tell you right now, I can't vouch for anybody else selling stuff online besides him. I think Freight on Lock, there might be one or two other places, and those guys, I'm sure they play by the rules because they know our deal and they're active dealers of ours, although our new dealer arrangements say you're not allowed to sell on eBay. We will be disappearing from eBay. I guarantee it. If you buy a stolen knife now from a pawn shop, you're not going to get a lot of support from me. And it's not that it's stolen. It's that it was a reject that was not fixable, that we deemed scrap, and it was stolen. So it doesn't need an adjustment. It's not like a knife that wasn't ready. These were knives that were scraps, full-on, complete scraps. Now, what would happen is we would have reworked and found out which part of the three was scrap, either the chassis or the blade, and we would have reworked them. But William took it upon himself to fill up his bag with several of them, and he was let go for being incompetent. And now they've shown up. They told us the guy, we went there and asked them, they told us his name. They had video of it. So I'm telling you, don't buy from these online clearinghouses. Don't buy from these online clearance websites. I've been trying to shoot down the secondary market, in case you guys didn't know. I've been trying to have them go away. I'm unfriendly towards it. I'm prickly towards it. They all talk smack about me, and there's nothing I could do about that. Because I don't like the profiteering and trading that goes on around knives. It's kind of phony. And everybody is the ingenue. Everyone's the soup of the day until everyone's not making a quick buck on their stuff. And it's kind of fake too. A lot of the value is just because nobody can make any numbers. So there's like a false supply and demand equation. I call it, Brady from Monkey Edge has one of the best phrases. He calls it the dysfunctionality of the knife business. The dysfunction of knife makers falsely props up their value. All right, that's my live shoot for the day. I'm going to send this over to YouTube also. I'm telling you, don't buy from eBay if you can avoid it by any means necessary. Avoid eBay. There is no deal being had there. And if you get a deal, there's something wrong. Or pawn shops. Jesus Christ, I don't have any pawn shop customers. Now, if you're a pawn shop customer and you own some swanky ass, awesome high-end pawn shop, Terry Fitzgerald. Terry, I agree. Everyone should have to have a brick and mortar. Some people do a really good job on eBay, or they do a really good job online, or they have a fantastic website with their own network. We had a dealer who had been a dealer of ours for a few years, and they switched their website, which we liked because it had its own traffic and its own organic crowd. They switched over to eBay. Well, as soon as that happened, they went down a whole notch with us, and I'm just trying to figure out how to not have that be the case anymore. So the reality is that over time, dealers kind of come and go, and you go in and out of favor with dealers. It's like relationships. So as our relationships ebb and flow, we will be, severing all ties with eBay. Here's the thing about it. If you're following the rules and you're on eBay and you're honoring your agreement with us, somebody else out there is breaking the rules, and it's the lowest common bargain hunter crowd. And I just don't think it's a great place. Like, if you've got a nice store, I wouldn't put my stuff there unless you're trying to blow out discounted items. And if you're in Poughkeepsie and there's a guy in Miami who's selling on eBay, let him. I mean, it's irrelevant. It's not like he's around the corner from you stealing your business. PJ Ritz, so much for fair trade. Well, there are some good, that's why I'm saying there are some, we have a dealer on eBay, Action Concepts. The thing I guess everyone needs to realize is this has been going on, you just don't know about it. Company XYZ comes to Phoenix to sell their wares. They don't open up a store on every friggin' corner generally, unless they're selling French fries. So it's not like I'm trying to stop competition. It's not about competition. We have an arrangement to do business that protects everyone. And, when James at Action Concepts follows the rules, we're protecting his investment if the other people follow the rules, because we have rules. A guy who's got a store, he's got employees, he's got overhead, he's got square footage. A guy who has no store and he's selling out of his garage doesn't have any of that. Well, if he decides he wants to play head-to-head with those other guys, if he decides, well, I'm selling out of my garage because I've got a real job during the day and I do this in the evening and on the weekends, it's not really fair. Now, the industries have all gone through this and have dealt with it. PJ, you're missing the point. eBay is where stolen goods are fenced repeatedly and often and a lot. I've done numerous videos about it. I'm not saying what I'm saying is be friggin' aware. You want to get the best possible price, PJ, you don't get it. You don't get a deal there. What you're getting is something's wrong. Unless you buy from James at Action Concepts, he's one of our dealers. Then James, he follows the rules. He understands returns, he knows how the whole thing works, and he can take great care of customers. I have a few of my authorized dealers who have stores who play in that space as well. But if my stores who have stuff want to play there, they're going to get undercut by the ding-dongs who are there, and the thieves who are there, and the guys who are undercutting the brand. That's just the way it is. I guess some people don't really understand how this works, but everybody in the world could work off of a 10% margin if they didn't have any costs. But we can't live off of dudes selling out of their garage on eBay. And James doesn't have demo models. There's no such thing anymore. That was trying to skirt the rules a little bit. That's gone. I can see a lot of you go there, and I understand shopping around. I get it. But what I'm saying is I deal with the fallout from it. And the fallout is most of the bullshittery that I deal with comes off of eBay, and it comes out of Blade forum groups. If you don't have a life where you buy other high-end stuff, you may not have been through this with other makers. But high-end stuff, you got to protect a little bit. It's kind of a special thing. You know, Porsche protects its brand. It has to. I've talked about this a whole lot. Everybody who builds a high-end lifestyle brand, they have to kind of protect it. Because dudes who are selling out of the garage, they're not invested in a long-term relationship, stocking your merchandise with good customer service and all of the things that go along with representing a brand well. Guys who have a lot of inventory, like Action Concepts and James Marsh, they've got some skin in the game. And they push the edge of the envelope a little bit. And they're testing the market. They're testing the waters. And that's what they do. And if they they start to paint out, sign the lines, we call them up and say, hey, that's not really inside the terms of the agreement. Mark Hamill, out of 10 Medfords, the worst three worst problems. One came from legit. I'm not sure what you mean, Mark. And I don't know if you bought, and I don't know who the other folks were. I don't know what you're talking about. But I deal with returns all the time. And I have a lot of knives out there. And I have a huge amount of returns. And I have theft. The only place we've encountered theft is from eBay. And from the knife forums. Knife forums is the number one place to get warranty voided because guys have taken their Dremel tool out and they've thought they're going to change something to make it the way they want it, to make it like their last knife. They get their Dremel tool out and they change it, and then you go to buy the knife and they say, oh, it's perfect, just like in the factory, just like from the factory. It's got a big screw mark across it, Dremel tool marks on the lock face. They flamed it, melted all the Loctite onto the hardware. Then those guys call me up and they're like, what the fuck, Greg? And I'm like, what are you talking about? This is just like from the factory. I go, it's not like from the factory. We don't do that, man. Jesus, enough commenting, Jason. Anyway, I got another customer who's bought a stolen knife, and they're having problems with it. And it's not just a stolen knife. A guy stole scrap and has pawned it off as knives in a pawn shop, and people are buying it and getting taken by it. So why do I set these rules up? Why do I have these rules? Why do makers have rules? Why am I shooting a video? Honestly, it's just to let customers know what's going on, be informed, and not be the next person who's dealing with a problem. Shouldn't be buying $600 knives from pawn shop. Yeah, Terry, all I can tell you is it's not my first rodeo, and I'm not going to disagree with you. I'm going to say, if you're looking online, yeah, I explained this earlier, Randall. I had a single employee who was taking from our reject bin. He was taking stuff and putting it in his bag when he was leaving when no one was looking. So they were rejects, so they weren't going into as soon as it goes into the reject bin, it's in a holding. It's not being tracked quite the same way. That's what happened. Couple knives, few knives, I don't know, maybe 30 knives, 10 knives, I don't know how many he took. But I'm catching them as they happen, and I got to deal with it. Problem is, this stuff goes out, it's got my name on it. It's got your name on it, it floats around, you're married to it. I'm married to the product forever. Serializing parts. Paul, that's exactly right. That's why we started serializing parts. We can track everything pretty perfectly with batching. It's batch serialization. Works pretty well. There's a challenge. If you've got a store and you want to put your toe into the digital world, and I wouldn't get in retail for all the fucking tea in China. I've been in retail. No thanks. But for the guys who do it, because they've got a great location, or they've got a great business model, or a great Rolodex, good on them. But if you think because other guys are selling stuff on eBay, you should hop on eBay and start selling, what happens is, the eBay market is size X, and if everybody jumps in there, it diminishes it. Imagine if you were in a street corner and all four corners had a McDonald's and they were all trying to compete for the business. Not one of the four stores is bringing a new audience to the table. This is the backroom secret of capitalism since it began. You make a deal with a state, a region, an area, a town, a section of town, a diameter, a radius next to a river, and you say, I'll put a dealer in there because they can be successful with that demographic and that amount of people, but I won't put 3 dealers in there because nobody will do well with the product. It's just basic common sense. Thanks, Brandon. So, I didn't get on here. Look, I bought stuff off of eBay. I buy a lot of used military off of eBay because I don't have a lot of used military here in town. I bought a lot of collectible stuff off of eBay. I'll tell you what I won't buy. I won't buy digital keys for a Porsche off of eBay. I won't buy a lot of stuff I won't buy off of eBay. Unless the seller happens to be some famous jewelry shop that's kind of listing on eBay. And I kind of get that. I don't like it, but I get it. And I'm okay with that. I don't buy much anymore anyways. I'm just saying, for you MK Tooligans out there, I'm not telling you have to buy from me, but I am telling you there is a truth, an axiom that Mama has told all of us, and we should know. There ain't no deals out there. And when you think you're getting a good deal, you're not. And when you think you're getting a great price, you're not. And when you buy a $700 knife for $350, it's got $350 worth of problems almost always. I've played this game a lot of times. Guy sends me a knife. It's got all kinds of problems. It's out of warranty. It's been taken apart. It's been dremeled. It's been this. It's been that. I total up what it takes to fix it. Just a number. And I have the number in my head. And let's say the number's $200. The blade's ruined. The spring's ruined. My labor's this. It takes me 2 hours. It's $275. Whatever. Just some number. And we'll talk on the phone and say, hey, where'd you get it? Oh, I got it from one of the blade forums. Guy said it was original. When I got it, I knew it wasn't original because I have your other knives and I know they don't come like that. I go, okay, no problem. So the guy lied to you. He's like, yeah. I'm like, that's pretty normal. So next, I said, for instance, knife costs $600. I'll say, did you pay $400 or $425 for it? I just ask them and they go, well, $400, how'd you know? I'm like, because it had $275 worth of damage. I mean, it's funny. I know it's not on purpose. I know guys aren't. There's just something about the universe that just kind of works. It's comforting. There's whole religions founded around that observation. And they call it karma. Anyways, I didn't want to wax rhapsodic. I don't have any big agenda other than I just had another guy who thinks he got a deal on a $500 knife for $200 and it's a knife I can't fix and I don't make it anymore. And I canceled it on purpose. And then he thought he got a great deal and it says new. You know, what am I supposed to do? It's missing parts, for God's sake. So I list my authorized dealers on my website. And my advice to you is, I don't care about the secondary market. These knives are not investments any more than a hammer is an investment. I recommend you use the knife when you buy it and enjoy the shit out of it. And if you think you're going to get all your money back, you're not. It's a dumb investment. Hey, Billy. You know why I'm talking so much about it? I guess because it hurts my soul when someone buys something of mine that's got my name on it and they get kind of taken. It kind of hurts me a little bit. And I feel like my grandfather and my father wouldn't be proud of me if I didn't find some way to make it right. I don't know. That's about it. That's my rant. You guys have a great day. Hey, what happened? Is Brett Kavanaugh going to be our next Supreme Court justice? Or have they found anybody else to make up stories about him? What's going on? Does anybody know? I've been making knives all day. Jesus Christ, guys, I don't know what the goddamn answer is. I'm a free market capitalist, and I also believe in protecting your brand when you're the owner of the brand. I don't know if I told you guys this, but I met Dianne Feinstein years ago at a party. Have I told any of you guys this? She was there. Chuck Schumer was there. It was a fundraiser. I got invited along. I thought it would be funny to go. I was drinking. That was back in my drinking days. I don't remember too clearly, but I do remember this. One of the Republicans said he's not voting on him. Was it Jeff Flake, the stupid fucktard senator from Arizona? Anyway, I was at this party, and wait a minute. Vote was set for Thursday. Somebody just wrote. Shit, I was trying to find that comment. But it's now been pushed because they're going to have a public hearing with the broad who's making the false claims. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, I'll tell you guys. So I'm at this party with Schumer and Dianne Feinstein, and there's cocktails going on, and everybody's drinking. It's a good time. And I end up getting introduced to Dianne Feinstein. We're talking back and forth. And she wanted money from me, and she thought I was a Democrat. And she was flirting with me. It was really, really weird. So I was drinking, and I kept my shit together. She was drinking. Then she said she wanted to talk to me out in the hallway of this resort outside of the conference room. And I was like, yeah, I'll go talk with you. We were drinking. Schumer was there. He was trying to get money from me. This is a few years back. I don't have any money, though. So we go out into the hallway, and Dianne, she's kind of holding on to my arm, and she's whispering in my ear. And I'm talking back to her, and it went down to hushed tones. And somebody came out, or her security detail, somebody came out and asked her if she was okay, and she snapped him to go get another drink, and they brought drinks. So we're standing in the hallway, and I have another drink. Now, I weigh more than she does, and I'm about a foot taller than she is, and she started putting them back. We're there talking for a while. Oh, yeah, it was her. It was a big to-do. Anyway, long and the short of it is, when everybody left, and she and I were standing in the hallway talking, and it was in a conference room, big facility like you'd have a wedding. We were down a side hallway, and there was kind of bathrooms there, obviously for other halls that were there in the resort. And she was holding on to me really tightly, and she reached down and she grabbed my ass and pulled me in and kind of planted one on the side of my face. And I jerked back. I was like, holy smokes. And she kind of winked at me and chuckled and said, and I'll never forget it. It was pretty haunting. She says, hey kid, what are you going to do? That was all she said. So, I don't think she's got any room to be casting stones because she's an ass-grabbing whore and likes Marines, apparently. What a naughty old broad. Now, if anybody'd like to have me come testify before Congress, I'll be happy to show up. I remember it all clear as can be. I can quote her. I even know what hand she grabbed me with.